What's up? How are you guys doing? It's the Ivy League live stream. Thank you guys for joining. I apologize for being late. I could have swore I hit the button for 9:15. I had to do some errands. I had to run out real quick. We got sound. Good deal. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We got a huge live stream in store for you. I'm not going to make it long. We're going to get straight to the point. We're going to talk about the markets. What a huge day in the markets in chat. It's just been, I'm thankful. I really am. And if you have not been able to be a part or know how to trade this volatility, you got to join us. Free 99, Free, free 99. All we ask is a like, a share, a subscribe. All right, we're trying to get to 100 subscribers. If you're new here, trying to get to 100 subscribers. We offer a lot of information. We talk about trades. I, as in we, have put this together so we can have a community of traders, that you don't have to pay a whole bunch of money to join. Matter of fact, it's free. All right, a place you can go to, better yourself, better your family, maybe take that vacation you wanted, or save you money. Whether I've saved you money, that's making money. I need you guys to know that I take this stuff very serious. If you guys can manage your risk, get the education. All right. I have some videos that are going to come out this weekend that are really going to help you with a lot of different things, with technical analysis, with risk management, chart patterns. Okay. This is my goal here, is to be able to have a place where traders that actually trade during the day, throughout the day, can come to, share ideas, talk about trades, because it's a lonely profession. I thought about doing this for a long time, and I finally did. I was just like, you know what, I got to. I don't like this industry. It's not that I don't like the industry. I don't like the industry. There's just a lot of shady stuff. It's just a lot of sharks out there, I think. That's what I think. That's just my personal opinion. All right, I feel like there's a way that things can be done where you don't have to, nickel and dime everybody. All right? Because here, it's not going to be, if you're not making any money, well, here's this. We'll do this. These people paid more money and it's good. No, the original thing didn't work. Don't give them any more money. All right? Maybe you guys got to understand, this stuff just takes time. You get the education, you get time. Time in the markets with the education and the understanding of how things work is going to, it's going to take you so much farther than just throwing money at the wall. Okay, you guys have to understand it's time. Okay, you do have to put in some work with, obviously, if you're new, understanding what words mean, learning charts, learning patterns, just learning sentiment, okay, knowing how to read data. All right, this stuff takes a little time, but you'll get it. And if you have any questions, if you have any tickers you want to run through, throw them in the chat. I'll be happy to go over them with you. I have a whole list of things that I'm working on as far as the markets. If I say anything you don't understand, just let me know in chat. I'll try and explain it better. Sometimes if I watch the stream back, I will say things and I'll be like, I didn't mean to say that. I'll get the words wrong, or I'll skip something. Maybe the idea that's in my head I'm not getting out correctly, so I got to work on that. Okay, I don't go into detail and fully explain what it is that I'm thinking. Okay, or what it is that I'm talking about. So again, thank you guys for joining. If you could, please, if you find this information valuable, if we helped you get some insight on the markets, or helped you in any way, shape, or form, if you could, like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers, and it would be greatly appreciated. It takes a lot of work, a lot of time away from family. All right, it takes a lot of time from doing my own research, by putting all this stuff together. But it's all good, as long as I've saved you money, then we're making money. So if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll run through them. So again, thanks for joining. I'm Justin. This is the Ivy League live stream. What happened today, man? We had a lot. Okay, we had a lot happen today. Last night, if you did not catch the live stream last night, or if you're new here, do yourself a favor and go back last night. You could go back even Monday. So even if you get the date wrong, I said it Sunday night. I said it Monday night. I said it Tuesday night. I said it Wednesday night. I said it last week. I've been saying it every week since I've been on here. All right. Now, the stuff that I do on here, we do trade live. I trade live right here, youtube.com, Ivy League Trading, 7:30 in the morning to 4 p.m. at night. I'm going to start doing these live streams a little bit earlier so I can come on and get it over with. You know, it takes the work just doing everything, and so I can get my sleep and get my research, and I'm not, you know, there's only so much time during the day that we all have, you know, so we got to utilize it the best we can. But again, we trade live Monday through Friday right here, Ivy League Trading, youtube.com. We're here all day. We come up with a game plan in the morning. What I do is I mention what I'm looking for, where my entries are, where my exits are. Okay, if something changes, this is what I'm doing. When I go throughout the day, I say, hey, you know, I'm looking at this resistance area. Is this resistance area holds? You know, we can't break through it. I will probably take my entry. And you got to understand and having the education on why would you take that entry? What is the juice worth the squeeze? Do you have a playbook? Do you know what a playbook is? I've mentioned a couple ideas that I have for a playbook. And we've used them about 4 times in the past month and a half. 4 or 5 times. All right. They've worked. They gave me a 1,200% gain when I was in Florida. Just had a laptop and a phone. That's all I needed. You know. So again, I said it last night, guys. I said the probability that we come in the day with a momentum follow through type of day. I have said it since Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I said it last week. I said it the week prior, and I said it the week prior before that. Not about today, but about the day in and of itself. All right, I'm going to get into that. All right, we're going to cover a couple things. We're going to go over to the charts. We're going to get into the news. So do not miss it. You're going to want to see it. All right, there's a lot of other things that I keep saying we, but it's me. There's a lot of other things that, you know, I still have yet to be able to get out to you guys to help you guys save money by whether it's, you know, not necessarily just sitting there bleeding to death and stopping yourself out on every trade, but getting the emotional part and understanding the markets on a true level. You know, knowing your ATRs before you come in, before that bell rings at 9:30. Is, you know, whether it's a volatile day or a non-volatile day, what is the ATR? If you don't know what that is, that's the average true range. These are very important things because it's going to give you insight on your entry and exit. What is it going to offer you? If you have a stock that normally on a non-volatile day moves high to low $4, you need to know that. Okay, on a volatile day, maybe it runs $6 to $10, $6 to $9. Maybe you get an extra $3, $4 out of it. Maybe if there's a news and it's that big, you'll get another. Who knows? You know, maybe that usual $4 stock will run $12 one day, whether it has news, technical, whatever. So those are things you need to know. You need to know relative volume, and we stress those things because that is going to help you out so much. Just that one aspect of trading. Trading is not perfect. We have a number that we come into when that bell rings, or even pre-market. When we come into the day, we have a number. Our job is to make that number bigger. We manage our downside. We can only do so much with the upside. We have our targets. We have our levels. The trade goes with us. We're taking it off as we get there, if you so choose. But that is a part of managing risk. Who's to say? I mean, we live in a headline type of risk environment. We just saw the other day with the banks. All it took was a 5-minute headline about banks, and there was a lot of uncertainty. Markets didn't really take it, but it could have went south real quick. You could have been long, and it just reversed, and you're like, wait, what happened? Okay, and with that, on that side of the field, you don't have to be the first to the party. If the news or something is that big, you're going to get a 2-3 day extension to the upside, to the downside, whatever it may be. So these are just a couple of the things that I want to get through, you know, learning how to use all your tools. All right, learning time and price. That is what the market is. It is time and price. All right. It's important. You probably won't understand that term, and I didn't probably for it all, everyone is different. Maybe 3 years to really understand with the tools that you have at your disposal, whether it's through your brokerage, a trading platform you use, time and price. It's important. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you on here some of the targets we have for like the S&P, the Qs. So we're going to get into it. Let's cover a few things real quick, like just a couple of the earnings. All right. I'm going to get into yields. I'm going to get into the dollar because that's very important. I mean, the market's been moving off of yields and the dollar. Okay. So Intel reported. They reported decent. They were up after hours. I have to look. I haven't had time to run through their earnings. Okay. But the chart tells me everything I need to know. That right now, if this stock is still holding on to its gains, then that means the earnings call also went well. All right. I do have a couple notes that I jotted down, but I had to get some things taken care of. And yes, look, you got the extension on it. So obviously that would tell you that the earnings call also went well. All right. We've had somewhat decent earnings. We've called out a lot of trades. We've been on the right side of trades. If you don't know, I've been trading for about 6-7 years. I stopped keeping track, but it could be close to 8, about 6-7 years. All right. So we'll go with 7. We'll go with 7. Just because of the number, psychological number. So again, if there's anything you guys need, want a question, want a chart, throw it in the chat. All right. We'll cover it. We'll go over it. We'll get the levels, get insight. Maybe you bring a trade idea to me and then, we're feeding each other and I help you out with a stake. You know how it is. So, I mean, that's just, I'm just trying to build a community here of traders that's, there's a lot of stuff out there, especially on YouTube, where it's just not specifically focused on trading and lessons and going over trades and what did we do wrong? What did we not see? Did we see it right? How did we see it right? What made us be on the right side of that trade before? There's been a lot, guys. I called out the Dow 2-3 weeks ago. I was calling out Ford. I was calling out all these. They were making pennants, beautiful patterns. And we were on them before they broke out. If you were here, you could have been a part of that. And it's free. All we ask is a like, share, and subscribe. So let's go to Intel. All right, Intel reported earnings today. I could go through the news real quick, but I don't want to waste your guys' time. I'm not here to do that. I respect your time, and you respect the stream and myself because you guys have been liking and subscribing. And I greatly appreciate it. It takes a lot of work. We're just trying to at least help you save money, whether it's through trading, all that fun stuff, and hopefully can put you on the right side and get you to learn how the markets operate, getting you a full understanding that you're going to need some time and you can do this. All right? If you put the work in, you get out what you put in. I fully believe that. Okay? I fully believe that. So, again, if there's anything you guys need, throw it in the chat. I'll get to it, whether it's tickers, questions, all that fun stuff. So, let's go to the weekly chart. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a line here right at the top of this. And we're going to see why was this as far as it went. Wait, nope, that's not what I wanted. That is not what I wanted. All right, so we have 37.62, right? Let's do it. I'll put a line right there. Let's start first. Why do we go to the weekly chart? We go to the weekly chart because these, and believe it or not, monthly charts, weekly charts, daily charts, the bigger time frame, the bigger picture is what institutional ownership uses. And you want to be behind institutional buying or selling because that's liquidity, that's movement, like putting yourself on the right side of probability involves putting yourself with the big boys. All right? You got to remember, you got traders, you're stepping in the ring with traders from Goldman Sachs, you're stepping in the ring with me. All right? We're all out here to get our money. That's what it is. That's why there's a bell, because it's a fight, it's a brawl. All right? So Intel reported earnings. This is the weekly chart. Funny. Isn't that funny? We stopped right at the weekly 100 moving average. I want to say day so bad, and I said it on the live stream the other night. Did not mean to. Well, we have the weekly 100-day moving average. So what I could do is jot that this is down. It's probably at it's 38.38. How funny is that? I could put, I'll do it tomorrow, but I'll put a level there. Okay. We'll put a level right here. So we know, and you can use different screens. There's different ways to do this kind of stuff. All right. We'll put a line here so we know that this is the 100 weekly moving average. So I know if we break up above this, now depending on the daily, look at this room that we have. We have resistance up here. All right. This thing had put in a huge base. A huge base. Look at that base that it's put in, guys. Look at that. Guys and girls, if there's any females here that have joined us tonight. Look at that base. Wow. All right. So I'm going to take this. Now, I'm going to put a line up here just in case we do get follow through. Now, you're probably going to need the market behind your back. But again, anytime you have news will trump technical analysis any day. Right? News will trump technical analysis any day because news is a fundamental reason for the stock to move. It's a fundamental reason for the stock to be bought or a fundamental reason for the stock to be sold. And what we want to identify is where are the buyers, where are the sellers, where are they, and who is in control. So if you go throughout the trading day, ask yourself those questions. Who is in control? Are the buyers in control or the sellers in control? And at what time frame are you using? Okay? It's important because it just helps you dumb it down a little bit, I guess you could say. Right? So this is going to be an area. Obviously, I'll throw it right there. Is this a psychological number? Not really. 43.50, 44 we'll call it. Maybe 44 is the number, but or 45. All right, so we have our 100-day weekly moving weekly moving average there. I was saying daily like last night when I was on the weekly chart. We are actually above all moving averages, and are actually, see how the moving averages are placed? The 50, the 100, the 200. You could go through a bunch of charts, and they may not be like this. You could still have the 200 way above the 50, and it all depends on what you're looking at. That is a healthy, this is a healthy, rally for the most part. You have a golden cross here. A golden cross is when the 50-day rises up above the 200-day. You have a shorter term moving average that is breaking up through a longer term average, which is telling you a story that it is a bullish signal. You want to see volume on those. Look what you got. You got a big buying day on this dip. You got a big buying day on this daily average, okay? Right here's the volume. And what else? Well, you don't really have that. But it did signal something to you. You had this drop here, and you flushed it out. Look at your MACD. And, the MACD is about even with it. Okay, that's fine. But look at that huge move. You would think that the moving average, or the MACD, would be lower. Well, it's telling you that there's a shift in momentum there. That it's possibly not necessarily that it's just a momentum shift where a stock will make lower lows, but the MACD is rising. And that is usually a sign when you get volume and you get maybe a gap and go. You can get a gap and go off of those type of days. Or sorry. So that is a bullish. That is a bullish indicator right there. I just have my words tied. I'm sorry. It's like the MACD's here. You would think after selling off that whole time, why isn't the MACD lower? Well, maybe just that the buyers weren't there, and it was just a little bit of selling, and the buyers just never came in. And it's just light selling through that whole way down. And when the buyers did step in, they stepped in pretty heavy. But, it's just these are bullish and bearish indications that momentum is attempting to shift from one direction to another. All right, that's the only way that I can explain it as easy as I can to someone that's new or something and not get too complicated with it. All right, we're going to get into all the craziness, guys, and we said it last night. And if you're new, welcome. We're glad to have you. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. If you find this information valuable, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We do trade live Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4, right here on YouTube, Ivy League Trading, YouTube.com. So we have the daily. So we have a golden cross here. The golden cross against the 50 moving average, which is the red line, moving up above the 200-day moving average, which is a pretty much a faster indicator, rising up above a slower, longer-term indicator, right? With volume here. You had a volume once you got we broke up above it, and you really got the volume in to keep that 50-day up there above it and really send that 50-day up at an angle. And I use these moving averages, maybe not like other people do. A lot of people do, don't get me wrong, but like newer people probably won't. They won't estimate if a stock moves, where does it put the moving averages, trying to see if this happens, what would happen to this? Would it come down and also become support with this base right here? If this stock sells off, does this 50-day also come down with it and it lines up with this base like right here? Just an example. If we sell off a little bit, the 50-day starts to come down and they both meet right there. That's two indicators meeting. You have a prior resistance. We've broken it. Do we pull back and turn them sellers into buyers? Because now the stock is broken out and they've sold stock here at, we'll say, $31. Now the stock hit 36. It's at 37 now. They've missed it. They're like, man, I should have never sold. It pulls back. It turns them buyers back into, it turns them sellers back into buyers. That's a psychological game that goes on. That's why usually you'll have resistance turn in once it's broken. It'll pull back, turn it into support. It'll claim that level back and then bring in more buying, because that is technically buying the dip. You're trying to get the best price you can. That is also working on entries. When you enter a position, which is very important. And then you have the opposite. Once support breaks, it comes back. Usually will get bought back up, right? It'll become resistance. That support will become resistance. Sellers will step in, or does it just sit there and go sideways? Then it's, that's a mixed bag there. But again, you'll have your sellers step back in. They'll want to get the best entry that they can, and they'll short it, or people will sell it because the stock was bought. It came down. The stock comes back up. Now they can they can sell that stock at a break even or a small loss instead of being down. Psychologically, it's back up. I don't want to own this thing. I'm out. That is the psychological ebbs and flows of the market that a lot of people don't talk about. And it's important. And that's why I say, who is in control? Are the buyers in control or the sellers in control? And once you get down the road and get some time, you'll start to notice, okay, well, sellers are still here. They've just stepped away and they just let a little bit of buy-in bring this up. And the sellers are just throwing maybe small pieces at it as it gets to a target area. And then they just step in, If a stock just continues to sell, that's telling you that sellers are stepping down. They want out of it. That's a sign. The sellers are in control. Like, they don't want to be in this thing. So they're, whatever price they can get, they're selling it. And the same for the upside. They want in. They don't care what price, they're buying. All on the way up. Okay, those are some things to think about. Right? It's a sign. Does the stock come down and come back up a little bit? Before it gets back to where it was, they step in and sell it again. Like, just because they're going to take what they can get. All right, that means that the sellers are stepping down. Right? And the buyers, same thing on the other side. All right, so let's get back into this so I can get everything wrapped up, get you guys some levels, get you guys some trade ideas, all that fun stuff. Again, if you're new, thank you for joining us. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. Like, share, and subscribe if you find this information valuable. We greatly appreciate it, and we do trade live Monday through Friday right here on YouTube.com. All right, so we have a pivot high that we broke here. So what will we naturally look for? All right, we don't know, but probability says we could get a pullback. Now, especially if the markets are weak. If we come in and these markets are still, weak and we don't come in with a gap up, or if we do come in with a gap up or we come in with a gap down, maybe we still get some buyers to step in. The overall trend is to the upside. So I'm going to put a line right here. See, this chart's a little off. I'm going to go up here, actually. It's not perfect, and what it is, it's an area. And what I could do is draw a box. What I'll usually do is draw a box. So I'll do it from the open. All right, so this is going to be our level for tomorrow that we're going to watch. Now I'm going to go, now I went from the weekly to the daily, so I'm seeing the bigger picture. I'm seeing a golden cross with the volume breakout to hold that 50-day up on this pullback. That little pullback that they had, look at the volume that came in. Bang, bang, bang. 3 days of just straight buying. They want this stock. It's on a low. Usually PEs, like forward PEs, forward multiples. I said it with Spotify. It was a perfect setup for the downside for earnings. It usually never happens like this, but a lot of these chart patterns have been setting up to tell you somewhat of the direction. Like look at Microsoft, look at Google. There's a nice, it rallies, it puts in its base, it pulls back, shakes out weak hands, rips to the upside. Did it again. It made a stage 2 rally, put in its base for a while. Everybody says it's weak. It pulls back. Earnings come out. I mean, I'll show you I'm sorry, but I have to, guys. I have to show you guys the chart. I mean, look at that. It pulls back to the 50-day, breaks out, pulls back, bang. Told you. That's what it told you. It was a bullish sign. Again, rallies, consolidates, puts in a bear flag, ascending wedge, whatever you want to call it. But it's putting in a base where shorts are trying to short it, but you're bringing in buyers at these lows, and it gives out another rally. That's a stage 2 rally, puts in a base, shakes out weak hands, boom. Pulls back, hits that downtrend, rallied its tail off. Again, I called that. We called Spotify before the earnings. Now, again, these are not 100% things, and I barely ever have. I've never seen this really, but we have said, look at that 200 weekly moving average. Look at the tail, bang, and then earnings come out, bang. So I say that because there is a lot of stuff that I don't want to take a bunch of time with, but I have told you guys and mentioned, if you're new here, I just want to recap it, that we have been expecting in chat. If you join us Monday through Friday, right here on YouTube, free 99, 7:30 to 4, Ivy League Trading. We told you that we have been expecting some of these mid-cap tech, large-cap tech, not like Apple, Microsoft, but like your Roblox, your Spotifys, things of that nature that have went and been bought off of the base and are now trading at higher multiples. And if these earnings don't come out and the sales and the revenue that they bring in does not match the multiple, that's going to give institutional ownership a reason to sell and take profit. All right, because if you're a growth stock, you need to be growing. And at what rate are you growing? If the rate is coming down and the probabilities of entering a headwind type of sentiment with college tuition, all that stuff, rates, everything, and it's rates that are around the world. It's not just here. Demand is slowing. We see it every day in the data. It's just slowing at a slow pace right now. And if that picks up, all right, that's all a part of risk management. When you get opportunities like that, they're going to take profits. So remember that. You see a growth stock that's not growing. Meta was an example, So let's go back real quick to Intel so we can get a trade set up for tomorrow, just one, and then I'm going to talk about another one. We have a couple of things. We'll say airlines. We're going to go through airline, Ford, and the semiconductors, which we're on now. And what does this mean for AMD and NVIDIA? And then we're going to get into the nitty gritty, the good stuff that you guys need to know. I have not told a soul about this, and it's not that it works every time, but I want you guys to just look for it and expect it to see if it happens. Now, if a lot of people with me saying this start to recognize it and start to say it, maybe it changes. And I'm going to give you the full breakdown on why that would be and how to go about, at least how I go about trading it. Okay? It's important. There's a lot of stuff, price and time. All right, so we went to the daily, right? Yes, we did. This is a 4-hour chart. There's our base. We broke back up above it. So just looking at the 4-hour chart, right? If we pull back and make this previous pivot top support, longer term trend, whether it's a week, 2 weeks, a few days, I don't know. Well, if this level does hold right here, this level, I'll make it a number 2 so that we know what I'm talking about. We pull back to the pivot high, and maybe it gets bought in front of it. So there might be a small little gap. It doesn't have to touch it. It's an area. We'll look at this double top. Okay, we'll look at this double top right here for the target. What we could also do is we could also measure the move, but I'll do that tomorrow morning because I want to get through this for you guys. So let's bring up a 15-minute chart. See, the thing is, there's not really much to see on a 15-minute chart because this thing's coming up off the lows. That's really all we got. All we have is the earnings, the previous base that was put in X amount of days last year, whenever it was. That's all we have to look for. That's all other traders have to look for. Is they obviously, the earnings call went great. I know that they did come out with news saying that they were going to raise prices. So that also may help. they have a decent, it's not like, you know, they don't have a decent product. It's like, it's hard to say what's going on. And then we have a major resistance level right there in front of it. I'll actually get rid of this line. We'll see if we can get, I'm going to leave them both there. We'll see if we can get up there because it's a range. $40.50 is what I'm going to look for if this previous pivot high holds. Okay, a pivot high is where it goes up and then just reverses. That's a pivot. Like it went up and it pivoted back down. All right, so from here to here, now real quick, if I do something, if you guys don't know, you can measure moves. That is a thing that, you know, I could just do it by price. I'll just do it with a line. I think that's a little bit further. I can already see it from here. I think it's a lot further, 25. Well, oh, this is a logarithmic chart, actually. So if I went from here, 27 to 36, call it 37. So if I go here, 36, where's 46? It is up there. Okay. So it's up there. And I'm kind of curious, where does that take us? Does that take us to the, oh, it takes us up here. Okay. All right. So, you know, that's not really the move we would look for. We would probably look for this move here, the pullback. Do you see this? Look at this right here, guys. This is what I'm talking about. And if you're new, and I apologize, I'm going to be quick with it because you guys already know this stuff. Look how we put in the base, and if I squeeze it in, you can see it. It looks a little bit better if I squeeze it in, okay? If I squeeze that in. So you can see you put in a double top, right? Up, down, up, down. That's a double top, triple bottom. And we rise up above it. It puts in a little flag, right? And it pulls back, but it rips. And what's it do? It takes this area and turns it into support now. With what? The 50-day. Like I just told you a little bit ago about how if we pull back, again, it'll bring this 50-day right back into this previous double top. And you have a double top with the 50-day moving average. You should get some buying. That should be a buying trigger unless there's news or it's that week that they won out. Then obviously that's not going to work. But probability says, hey, we've got multiple indicators lining up with a price area. This should act as support. All right. So that's what I was trying to get at. And obviously, look, I said it and it did it. Now that I'm looking at it, where's the 50-day? The 50-day is right at the previous double top. These are how you find longer term trends you could use for swing trades. Look for that day trade, the day or two or three after it does that. Just keep an eye on it. When you do have something like this, then you could expect some momentum and some buying and some volume to come in there. All right, so that's Intel. Not much to say there. I mean, it is Intel, guys, so we know what we're getting there. So what does that mean for AMD? What did AMD do after hours? I think it went up just a little bit. But again, the market was weak. So it just went up a little bit. It's still trying to hold this 1150 area. It's been floating back and forth. You have a range, low to high. Right? You break out, it tends to not stay there very long. So we know we got sellers up here. So if we look at the volume here. It's been pretty weak. We had a decent volume day today, but volume's been weak. Look what happens when we get up here. Look at how the volume, it gets a whole lot bigger. You see what I mean? They just step away. All right, so that was AMD. I did trade NVIDIA today to the short side. Right, and NVIDIA's putting in the same thing. Look at how it touched the downtrend line. Wow, I haven't seen this since this morning when I traded it. Right, isn't that cool? Isn't that crazy how it works out? If you know how to draw, you know, if you know how to go about doing this, you know. Wow, that's pretty sweet, right? So that's awesome. So that's an idea from me. That's an idea from me. All right, we're going to need some bond. We got to see what the markets are going to do, and I'm going to tell you what I think they're going to do. All right, we're going to get into it here shortly. Let's just run over Ford. So Ford, from what I've seen, and I'm going to get into why I think we had the day we had today. And everybody has all these reasons, but wait till you hear mine. Ford. All right, just a heads up. Okay, we called Ford out. Ford was a play that we called out in chat that I went over, and I said, look at what we're doing. Look at this. Descending wedge. This is a bullish setup. Okay, it's a bullish setup. All right. This is a weekly chart. If I go to the daily chart, It was picture perfect. I gave this out. You could have done your own research and you could have taken it or you could have not taken it. Look at this. If you don't know, this is a pennant, right? Now you're coming into price where it's either it's got to give. Something's got to give here. It's putting price action. It's getting real tight. It's like, who's going to get it? Who's going to, like, it's under pressure, right? Short's done. We rally. All right, so we pulled out. What did we do? We literally pulled back right to the downtrend line again, just like you've seen on Google, just like you've seen on NVIDIA, on the other ones I've showed you. Okay. Boom, guys, we were on it back here. When it put in this before it put in the double bottom, I said, guys, we're watching this. It put in the double bottom right on the bottom trend line. We had the trend line already drawn prior, and guess what else we did? Guess what else we did? Because we had our targets. We had our targets, gang. All right, we had our targets. Okay, just so you guys know, we like to give ourselves the best chance, at least a probability, like a heads up, like what could happen in the future if this does happen. Okay, well, would you look at that? And now my line's a little bit above it, but what do you have there? This is what we do Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4. We stay after. We do our research. We have our list of research. You could say we put on a whiteboard, whatever. We have our list that we do research on, technical analysis, news, earnings calls, all that fun stuff. Well, we had that, right? We had all that here, right? Before the double bottom. Members can and will attest. As a matter of fact, it's on. Go back if you want to find out. Go back to the dates. That's 5/16. Whatever streams that I did. 5/16, 5/24. Go back to the end of the month. We were calling out 4. We were calling out other ones. We have been calling oil, and we've been calling banks, guys. Free 99. If you find this information valuable, all I ask, it takes a lot of time, is to like, share, and subscribe. That's all, and come join us. And if you need help or you have a question, a chart, anything, throw it in the chart or throw it in the chat. So we've been calling out oil and energy. USO here. We had all these targets already ready, right? We had a breakout of the ascending wedge. These are beautiful patterns that we've gotten, and this is why the Dow type names trading at lower multiples on their lows have made that run, because it was large cap tech, then it was mid cap tech. What else do the fund managers need? What does institutional buying need? They want the best price, the best deal. That's safety, that's risk management, buying at, good prices that at least, they may not be good or great prices, but they're still, from a chart perspective, they're down on their lows. The market has rallied, and they have had a year and a half down year. Bonds and stocks were down. They're hurting. They can't do it again, or they may not have a job. All right, I did do this up here. I haven't measured it or anything, but this, just throwing it up there, was my target. We may not get much more. All right, we may not get much more. I don't know if I did run this thing through the whatchamacallit, but I will. I will just see where. I don't know why or how I got that. So it looks like we still do have a little bit more room to run. Yeah, why not? There's the pivot high. So I probably could bring that down, and we could see this top end of this base. All right, so those are just one. We were in banks and things of those names. So Ford, okay. Ford had earnings today. We're above all major moving averages, and it looks like we pulled back to the 50, right? And what else do we have? Do we have support there? We do. Look right here, guys. Look at this double top. You did run out, but you gapped below it. You came back up and opened, and you opened here. You gapped up from this day. You gapped up, and it got sold off. So there's your base. Pretty much right there is the base. And it's met with the 50-day, because the 50-day also lines up with an area of resistance, support, resistance right there. It's not too, like I say, it's in a range. All right, so that's Ford. Does Ford get another bounce? Where is it trading at right now? I'm just curious. It offered full year guidance. Earnings call was not great. Or this is also because we've called it out early. There's probably profit taking on these runs. We're going to be coming into an environment that isn't so great. There's a lot of unknown. If you listen to any earnings call, Same thing as last earnings. There's just a lot of unknown. The whole world, practically, the majority of the world is raising rates. That's going to slow demand. So that's Ford, solar stocks. I think ENPH took a dump. So these are trade ideas we can look for. We'll go over them real quick. I want to go do it as quick as I can, all right? I'll just go to the daily. Matter of fact, I will go to the weekly because I want to see where the moving averages are. Okay, so there is the 200-day weekly moving average, right? Actually, I could just put an arrow, right? I could just put an arrow right here. I could do that. That'll make it like a little bit better. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that way I know it's like right there. All right, so which is going to let me know across the board. Now I can use different screens. I can have a daily, a 15-minute, 5-minute, 3 and 1 minute, whatever. So we are coming in. We are coming in down here. We may already be there, and that's why we have support. There's got to be something there for the stock to react off of it. You know, whether it's a bounce back or it stops it stops going up. There's always a reason why, whether it's a resistance, a support, a moving average. You know, it's always something. So we do have a pivot low right here, guys. Look at that pivot low. That's not what I wanted. Okay, remove arrow. Remove drawing. So these are ideas. Write them down. Okay. These are ideas. So I'm going to go from this pivot low right here, guys. And it should also bring the 50-day down. So what am I thinking? What am I thinking just looking at the daily chart? So we had a down day, right? We had a down day. And obviously after earnings, especially if we sell off a little bit more, it's going to pull this 50-day moving average down. So what would we look for? Okay, if the 50-day moving average is right here, I'm going to draw a little line. All right, this is how you can help use moving averages and things and use it for a future. Like, how do you try to look into the future? Well, one thesis I can come up with is if we have this sell-off, this daily 50-day moving average is going to be brought down. It's going to be pulling down. So once it anchors itself down, what are we going to do? If it pulls itself down, right, I'll go to a 15-minute chart. There's our line. What would we look for? Especially if it sits down here. Maybe it pulls up here and then sells back off. Okay? Or it goes back up to the base. I have to look. I have to go further. I'm just trying to go quick. What I'm getting at is this 50-day that is up here on the daily, okay, it pulls itself down. This thing may pull up and consolidate, maybe come down, go up a little bit, but it'll go up to the 50-day. It'll bounce back to it and reject it. It'll meet it. And that'll be an area which will probably be right around here. Let's see if I'm correct. This is going to be, why is it not doing it? We're going to just see. Come back to the live stream in a couple days or so, and let's see if I'm right. I'm going to say that 50-day moving average is going to be right about here. All right? And I'm going to make it gold for whatever, as close as I can get it to gold. We're going to see if that 50-day moving average reaches somewhere around this area in the next coming days, maybe next week sometime. And then we look for a nice, it's going to be an area. So we're going to see if that plays out. If we get like a bounce back or whatever, what have you, it may take a couple days. It might not do it till here or here, but we're going to look for that. All right, this is how you can like also picture, what could happen in the future. Okay, and we do have a double top here. So I will put that line. And let me give you these levels. I do apologize. So you can look up the 50-day moving average. You know where that's at, 172, call it. All right. But we have a double bottom right here on ENPH at 156. All right, 156, you have a double bottom on ENPH. Okay. We're going to look to see if we could possibly get the bounce back. Now, we don't have much here. Like, it's been years since this thing is traded, in these areas. Where's the nearest area? We got to go left. We got to go left. All right. Well, I'm going to look for a bounce back to here, guys. Oh, isn't that funny? Doesn't that match up with my gold line? Isn't that funny? That's too funny, isn't it? Now, that's really a reason for us to sell. That's really a reason for us to be short and have puts, guys. Isn't that funny? What I'm looking at is this base right here. You may not be able to see it too well. Oh, shoot. Let me do something. I'm sorry. How about, does that help? I do apologize if I've been doing this the whole time and you guys haven't seen it. I do apologize. I got to fix that. I got to fix it. Let me just make sure that it's good. Yeah, we should be good. Yep, we're good. We're good. Sorry about that, guys. I do apologize. Again, so that lines up there. Let's do this. So now that took it out of my screen. I'm just going to say we have a pivot low base. That's still too high. Well, that's all we have. That's all I'm looking at for right now because this stock is hurting. So we'll look for a bounce back. Okay, we're going to look for some type of bounce back on ENPH to get short. All right. They reported earnings. Obviously not too great. So we're going to look to be short at 152.36. I don't know why I have this arrow there. Was that a weekly moving average? I thought I did it on a different stock. Yes. So there we go. So there's our reason to be short. There's our bounce back right here. Let me get on it. I'm going to get on it because I'm going to show you guys how we can look for a bounce back here. And they're going to be like, there's going to be nothing there. And they're going to be like, how did you know to well, we don't know to get short there, but probability says if we break this level, we probably sit right in here and we reverse it. And you probably could put in like a lower high. Maybe it tries to work itself up and it just stays down and it curls up. Oh, we met the 50-day. Boom. All right, if things are that bad. All right, let's do it. We went through Ford. It had decent earnings. Oh, so Ford did sell off. All right, so we know Ford sold off. We can go to like a 4-hour chart. All right, we have this double top right there. Right where my green line is also. So right in this area, we'll look to see if we can pull Ford back down in here at the low 13s. All right, so went through that. Solar stocks like FSLR also reported earnings. So we're going to be looking at these type of names. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Now, in order for a lot of these names to be strong, they do have news, but you know, the market may be weak. Okay, the market may be weak. It may be. We don't know. We could come in today with a gap up. And look at this again, guys. Another one. Do you see what's been going on here? Look at these. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you break out of it on some volume. It pulls back, and it's just been up in an uptrend since. Right? There's an island reversal there, but you know, these are just some of the things that I want a lot of people to learn. A lot of people do this stuff, and they don't teach you how to estimate future price action. So let's get into it. I'm going to get into what happened today. What did I call out yesterday? What was it? What did I call out yesterday? Members in chat know this. They know. Sorry, I got to close this. Yes. All right, boom. So, what's up, man? How you doing tonight, buddy? So, I mentioned all week, guys, watch out for Thursday. Thursday is a day that I always, I've got it jotted. It's a day that I look for, and I can't wait for, honestly. I can't wait for those days. I can't wait for Thursdays. All right. So, what happened today? The market pulled back. Oh, airlines. Let me look at UAL real quick. UAL, just one name, random name. UAL. All right. What happened with airlines today? There was a bit of downside. Okay. 52. So, I had mentioned all week, guys, I'm taking my time throughout the week. I'm not going to what happens is throughout the week, unless I see a really good setup or some momentum trade, I'm going to take it. And I'm not going to be trying to get home runs. I've said it all week. I'm waiting for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, especially Thursday. I always wait for Thursdays. Thursdays is the key word. Thursdays. So I said Sunday, guys, Bank of Japan. I said it Sunday night. I said it Monday night. I said it in chat all week. I've said it in chat. I've said it on these live streams. Bank of Japan. All right. Well, quantitative easing. They said what they've said. They've done what they've done. If you don't know what they did, do some research. Maybe you'll learn something. Just Google what did the Bank of Japan do today. And I said it. I said that they were going to do these. They were thinking about doing these things. And this interest rate hike is a big deal. It's going to move the markets, or potentially could. 2. All right. Margin requirements for banks. Margin requirements for banks. So we're going to get into the SPY and the Qs right now. 3, we had GDP. It was great. It was better than expected. Maybe they got to go higher. We come up with all these reasons. Guys, I can see Bank of Japan, right? Yes, 1 o'clock today, you had a bond auction where it was pretty bad. They went for 7% and I think it was it the 7-year? I think it was the 7-year that went off today. There was a couple that went off, but it went off. I want to get you the right information, okay? And it's not in here as a big deal because they probably didn't know. But it went, 7-year note auction, and it went for 4.87%. All right, the 2-year. What did the 2-year do? Right, the 2-year caught a big bounce. What did the dollar do? Now, this is off of all of this news, right? Look at the dollar. Wham. I don't know if the dollar's got much farther to go, but it could. This stuff could be shaken. Like, things could change, guys. Things could change with this Bank of Japan interest rate decision and quantitative easing and things of that nation, or things of whatever, things of that nature, things of that nature. All right. If you want me to get into the Bank of Japan stuff, I will. I can teach you guys whatever you want to learn. All right. But I said it yesterday. I said Bank of Japan, we're getting GDP, we're going to get PCE inflation. So my thoughts are, let's go to the SPY, right? Why do I always say Thursday? Why do I always say Thursday in general? It doesn't matter what direction it goes, whether it's up or whether it's down. I always say, guys, you know what day it is. Be prepared. Be prepared. I haven't taught you how to trade it yet. It's pretty simple, okay? This is just one way I do it, right? This is a probability game. Now, listen, I have been doing this, and this is something I've noticed since January. I've noticed it since the beginning of the year. It may have been since December, but I'm going to say the beginning of the year. And I have been relying on it every single week. There have been about 5-6 times out of those 6-7 months, well, we're almost at the end of the month. Those 6 months that I've been doing this, it hasn't always happened. Maybe it happened on a Tuesday or a Friday. Maybe there was a news catalyst, like a Fed meeting, which I was like, guys, I'm not sure if we're going to get what I think we're going to get, but we still could. We just had a Fed meeting. We got it. We still got it. And it doesn't matter what direction it is, guys. I said, watch on Thursdays for a momentum-driven type of day where you get momentum and you get follow-through and you get a big day. Not only did we come in with a huge gap up, we finished red. And I love those days. You come in with a huge gap up, you're up like almost 1%. You pull back 1%, and then you still go another percent. Look at this daily chart. Look at that daily candle. We have not had a candle like that all year, I don't think. Maybe here. You have not had a candle like this in so long. But you have had really nice candles that were decent follow-through days that, I can go right back and I can show you guys. You can go back yourself if you'd like. All right? I can show you. Every Thursday, I anticipate this, guys. It's been doing it all year long. How do I go about it? And then I'm going to go into the why. Why do I think this keeps occurring? Okay? Why do I think it keeps occurring? First, we'll go into that. I also think this was an occurrence for the PCE number tomorrow. This is a huge rally we've had. There's a lot of technical reasons where we're at by this 460. It's not just the number, okay? It's the number, but it's also something else that I'm going to get into. All right. You have PCE tomorrow. You have risk off. It's probably not because of Japan. It's probably not because of GDP. It's not because of any of that. It is just a positioning that takes place before Friday and before you go into the weekend, into next week. What time of the year is it? It's the summertime. I have noticed every Thursday we have gotten a follow through big momentum type of day, or you've got clear direction and it's just went and it went and it went and it went and it went, and you didn't get these these pullbacks and go up, pullback, where it eats premium if you trade options. Okay, now again, there's been about 5, maybe 6, maybe 4 or 5, but there have been a few Thursdays where this hasn't happened, and I think that this also happens because it's Thursday. You're going into the end of the week. Institutional ownership, they get their they get their positions, whether it's to the buy side or downside, they get it out before you go into Friday. Maybe they're leaving early, they have vacation, all these things. I can go back, guys. I can go back. Okay, what do we have here? This is Thursday, right? Let's go to this following Thursday. What did you have right here? Oh, another down follow through type of day, guys. Another one. This is a big move. You didn't get it here. You had this little consolidation. Follow through. Okay? You got it here on Tuesday as well. I remember that one. All right, let's keep going. Again, it's not every single time. Thursday, let's go. Look at the follow through. This is an hourly chart, so it's not going to look that big. But look at the follow through, guys. Look at that. Just up. Look at it being... Let me see if I can go to, like... I'll do a 15-minute chart. See how far it'll let me go back. So you guys can literally see follow through. Where's the next Thursday? Right here. Look, we find our footing. Boom. Okay. You did it on Tuesday also, which I say it's not every Thursday, but it's only been about 4 or 5 or 6 that it hasn't happened. And the thing about these is you get follow through. It doesn't eat premium. Look at this day. You hung the level and you just ripped. You just ripped. There was no big pullbacks. Look at you can't see the tail, but you just ripped. Momentum. Okay, follow through. I've been saying it ever since I've started this live stream, and I can't wait. Look at this day. What day is it? Thursday. Follow through. You could have got it both ways, where there's no pullbacks and it just goes and it doesn't stop. And I'm going to teach you how, or not teach you, but I'm going to show you how I play it. Right? That's nice, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. I made some really good money myself today. What did he trade? 2,800 into 100K. So that's well over 1,000%. So let's see here. Thursday. Boom. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I was in puts too, man. It's just, there's a way to put, I'm going to teach you guys how to play this. That way you can just build your stuff up for these days. But if it changes, you gotta like remember it. Like it could change. I could be saying this. People could start talking about it. Things can change. Yeah, well, it did lull people to sleep. It happened right at the bond auction. And people are saying, it's the bond auction. I'm like, dude, we've been coming down off of that level the whole time. It just took a little bit, and it wasn't going to make it easy. And I'm going to tell you guys how I make sure every Thursday that I've been taking advantage of these. I'm going to show you. This was a Thursday that you didn't get it right here. And again, what do we have here? Tuesday, follow through. All right. And so, again, I told you guys why I think we get them. There's another Thursday right here. All right. Follow through. But there's just so many more. Look here, guys. Thursday. What did you get? Thursday. Boom. Okay. Let's keep it going, guys. It doesn't stop. I'm telling you. Thursday. Right here. Momentum. Follow through. Boom. Okay. I think that was actually no, it wasn't the day. Look here. Again, what day is it? It's Thursday. Boom. Okay. And I think this other one was on a Friday. Yeah, this was the Friday when it did it. right? You did set up for a Wednesday going into whatchamacallit. So, what do we have here? Thursday, boom, right? You also did it Wednesday, but I'm telling you guys, just start watching Thursdays. Look at this Thursday, boom. Or that's Wednesday, sorry. Like I say, it's not every single time, but more than likely, it's been happening. Now why does that stuff happen? Because there's obviously data or a Fed meeting or something of that nature where something moves the market. Okay? It's just I'm telling you guys, and it's look at this Thursday again. When you start getting weeks where you don't really have something to move it, look at that Thursday. Boom. There's another one. I can just keep on going. But I can go all the way to January. I'm telling you guys, it's crazy. Look at this. Boom. You know, you could have wrote it both ways, right? So look at this again. What's today? Thursday. Boom, guys. I have not told anyone about this, right? I haven't told. Look at this. Thursday. Boom. See if we get one more out of this. All right. See if we get one more. Not really. It's still bigger than this day and this day. You still got more of a follow through there. So, can we get one more? Give me one more. I don't want to be a pig. Look at this. Boom. Follow through. You got the upside, resistance, all the way from what time? 11:15. Really, it started at what time? 12:30, 12:45. What time did it start today? 12:45, 1 o'clock. Boom. Guys, Thursdays. This is why I say Thursdays. All right. There's a reason why I say these things. Well, how do I trade it? How do I know that I can get on it? Well, I know if there's not like catalyst or a news the day prior on a Tuesday or a Wednesday Fed meeting, whatever. I put on the positions and I let them work. I wait. Depending on the morning, if we put in a base and then start breaking out of the base in the morning, then obviously I'm grabbing some calls. But what you guys need to know about options is start watching them. Start watching your options. Okay? And there's more to this sell-off, and I'm going to get into it. Start watching your options. You'll notice, even if you go to a direction and pull back, it doesn't really pay. At 10 o'clock, 10:30, those options are usually at their cheapest, and that's when you have an opportunity to catch either a reversal or a follow-through, and you're getting the option at the best price. This is why you don't need to worry about getting off the bell. Sometimes you might. Maybe it just gaps and it goes. Okay, well, we see that. Now, this is, again, it takes time. You're going to be able to tell. I can tell what the candles are, the size of the candles, whether they're small and they're tight. Are they just trading tight? That's a momentum follow-through type of day. All I got to do is go to like healthcare, technology, banks. What are they doing? If they're all going up, we got a momentum day. The overall market's getting bought up. Okay, the S&P has the whole market, but it's heavily weighted in banks, healthcare, and technology. So you want to just say, let me go to JP Morgan, let me go to United Health, let me go to Apple, Microsoft, maybe Nvidia. Maybe you even go to like Chevron or Exxon or something, and you get an idea by just looking at those stocks what the market's doing. What's going up, what's coming down, even throughout the day. You know, look at your banks, look at your healthcare, look at your technology. Those are the three biggest markets that there are of the stock market. Okay? 2, what do we have here? We have a Fibonacci, again, price and time. All right? Look at this. Okay? This is a measured move here, guys. This is a perfect. This is when we started the uptrend. That's when we started it. This is when we consolidated out of the base. We had a pennant built. All right, we had our pennant right here. We tried to get long this day out, but we got our pullback. We were long that day. There's your wedge, right? We got these chart patterns have been coming up like hand and fist. Pull out, we pull back, bang, off to the races. What do we have right here, guys? We have a 23.6 Fibonacci. This right here is going to be my target to the downside. Now, it may take, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I've been waiting and trying to get a pullback to this double top here. We have not gotten it. Maybe we get there. So what we can do is we can go to Trading Economics, investing.com, whatever it is that you use. We can go to the economic calendar and say, okay, next week, what do we have on what days to potentially move the market? What do we have the following week? So we can time out our thoughts on what the overall markets are going to do. Okay? That's how you come up with a somewhat game plan, an idea by knowing the data that's going to come out, or if there is no data, what type of earnings, okay? Is it signaling something? So are we're going to get short the bounce back to the low of the Fed day? And that's another thing. We rallied and we completely took back the whole Fed day move and more. That's a sign. Okay, where did we sell off from? 460. Well, where did we start? Where did we start at? We started at 410. So that's a $40 move. Okay, so we can expect at $20, we're going to be at 430, what? 410, 460, whatever the math is. It's just late, and I'm sorry. Oh my God, it's 11 o'clock. I'm so sorry, guys. Look, these are my targets for the SPY. I'll get more into it in the morning. I do want to see if we can get to this double top, but I am going to be a buyer right here at the 23.6 Fibonacci, and that is this previous double bottom, okay, at 448. So call it 448 to 450. We're going to see that's really not that far either, guys. It's really not that far. So can we break this level, get a bounce back, do something like this? And I'm going to bring up the Qs. The Qs are doing the same thing. Do we get a pullback? You know, bounce it, bang, we call it support. We move up, and then we turn it to resistance. Obviously, more than just one day. You know what I mean? Do we start getting a bit of a downtrend to get to the double bottom, and then start sticking it, and then work ourselves up? Okay? This is the picture that I'm going to be looking for. All right? That's what I'm going to be looking for going out. I want to start seeing us curl it off of these levels. Right? Something like that. I want to start seeing us bringing it down. Now, in the meantime, we'll come down. We'll turn it into resistance. Turn this back into support. Bounce, get a nice rally up. Resistance, break it. Boom, 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 boom. All right, that is coming up with game plans to go throughout the day, or like the weeks and coming weeks with earnings. Obviously, we look to see what earnings we have. When is NVIDIA, AMD, like, are they big earnings coming up? Data. I mean, we've had rounds and rounds of data. Again, look at the Qs. Look where the 23.6 fib is. Okay? Right at this pivot, low, double top, where it made its support. Where did this random ticker in the afternoon hours go to? That's not ironic. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right? This is how professional traders trade. They measure moves, time, and price. They measure the time that it should take to get to an area, things of that nature, by using 50-day moving averages, predicting when this thing pulls back, it should take X amount of time to meet up with it, to pull back. It's professional trading, guys. Also knowing your ATRs. Okay? ATRs on non-volatile days versus volatile days. Like, example that I give is Tesla. I know I can get $4 to $6 out of Tesla on a slow day. On a volatile day, I'm getting at least anywhere from $8 to $12. Okay, things like that. Just knowing that. And if you're trading a stock you don't know, then you obviously want to know. You know what I mean? If I want to know what the Q's ATR is, I can probably have an indicator for it. But I can say, all right, so we have 468 or 469, call it, and 472. So 472.50. So 368. So 9, 10, 11. So $3.50. In a decent day, from high to low, I have 358.50 to 364.50. So, you know, things like that. Just doing simple things like that can give you an idea. Now they have indicators and stuff for it. So 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. So I'm looking at $6, $7 on a decent day on the Qs. So I know high to low. If I'm catching a bounce, I should know on a decent day when there's volume, on that bounce, if I get the direction right, if it's going to hold support, I know I at least have $3 to $4, and then I can leave the last bid on for like 2, maybe, whatever it wants to do. I know it gets another $2, I'm taking profit. I know where my year-to-date highs are, year-to-date lows, so you can kind of gauge where you are, like what's the trend. That's why you look at the weekly chart, okay? And this stuff all plays out. You want to know where your moving averages are on the weekly. Hell, even the monthly. There's institutions use these, guys. Look where this 100-day lines up with. It lines up right with your pivot top now. Do we get down there? I doubt it. But I do want to look for a pullback. Now, with it being up here, it's going to start to bring these up. It's going to take a while for them, but they are going to start to curl up. Your 50 days curling up. Now, you're going to more... With the indice like this, you want to use these. So this is a healthy market. You got the 50-day above the 100-day, 200, and 100 above the 200. A lot of people don't really look at like that, because that's a story. That's a bull trend. That's a trend, right? Your 50's not stuck in the middle between the 200 and 100. Like, there's just all kinds of just volatility, right? It's telling you a clear direction. So much that it's been cleared that it's had enough time for the 100 to get back above the 200 and the 50 to get back above the 100, and there's gaps. Tells you a clear trend. Okay, a lot of people overlook that. Just looking at noticing that the moving averages are where they should be in a decent market, instead of here. Now it's reversed. Obviously, it's to the downside, but so those are just key things. Like right now on Roblox, what do we have? We just had the 50-day try to poke its head back above to try to get a healthy market rally. Something happened. Okay, that was the market today. Maybe we get our bounce back tomorrow. It stuck the 200-day. Well, it closed below it, so I apologize there. But so you want to look at transports, guys. I don't say this to say oh, I know it all, I do this and that. I'm going to be wrong. I am trying to help you guys know that when you come trade with us, we know what we're doing for the most part. We manage our risk. Oh, how do I trade those days? I think I told you guys, but I put those positions on, and I just dwindle the position size down at 10 o'clock. If I don't have a clear direction on a Thursday, maybe it doesn't do it. But it's only not done it about 5-6 times out of the year. So I know X amount of loss is those upsides or downsides have made up for the losses of just putting the position on and then seeing where we're at it and saying to myself, we're going to hold this until something changes. Okay? That's not... Well, Michael, it's more than that, though. It's more than that. Oh, you missed it, didn't you? I went and had my whole thing. It's not just because of Bank of Japan. But again, I did come on Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I even didn't really trade because I've been waiting for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Monday and Tuesday, I took some trades, but I just base hits. It's not just Bank of Japan. It's not even just GDP. Again, like I say, this has been a technical Thursday move that I said last night. Guys, watch. We did have Fed meeting, so we're going to see what happens, but watch for a momentum, clear direction type of day. We are at a psychological 460 number. So if it was just Bank of Japan, why did we already just come out the gates to the downside? That's what I have to say. It did pick up, but look at the size of these candles to the downside. These are all things that people come up with. Now, it doesn't help because they also haven't done what they've done yet. I think they do it at 11 o'clock, but we'll see. Yes, the dollar popped. You had the treasuries, but you also have margins being raised on banks too. That's why it happened that's why the bond auction went the way it did, because a lot of these banks want to get it off their balance sheet because they don't want to have to meet a requirement that is going to be, it's not going to benefit them. So they're going to do what they can do to dwindle down what they have, so they're not in that criteria where they have to raise margin requirements. Also, that's one thing. GDP. We also have PCE tomorrow. this has been a big rally. This is just a risk off type of day. There's been a lot of money made. You have tomorrow PCE. This is, like I said, if you weren't here, I went through and I literally showed us since January, every single Thursday, maybe at like 10:30, depending on how he traded. I've been putting on both sides positions because Thursdays have given us follow through momentum days every week. It hasn't done it, whether it's because of catalyst, a news, a day before, whatever. It has done it every single Thursday since January, and I have noticed it, and I've been putting positions on, and that's why I even came on this whole week. And I even came on last night and said, guys, watch tomorrow to see if we get a follow-through momentum day. All right? Our mind was made up at 460, coming into 460. But yes, a lot of that stuff is all an excuse. But again, we've been waiting for the pullback, and we got our 26.3 Fibonacci right here. That was a clear on the dot $40 move to the upside as well. There's a lot. There's a lot we can say why. It's risk off. That's it. They're taking profits. We're going to get a decent pullback, and we should get some money brought back in here. I mean, look at the volume we had at the open. You know, we were from the gate. We were selling. They were selling from the gate. Yes, we know, like, you know, I've said it all week, you know, with Bank of Japan, you had this bank issue going on. You had GDP today. We had Fed yesterday, and the market's been climbing with yields, and then obviously today with everything. PCE coming out tomorrow also is like, you know what? But like I say, Thursdays, what are we coming into? We're coming into a Friday where it's the summertime and you're getting ready to come into the weekend. They want to finish whatever it is they want to do, where they want to get in or get out of, and they're really going to get those orders out on that Thursday, coming into the end of the week to go into next week. We'll see what happens next week if we get another Thursday move. But if a lot of people start noticing this, they may switch the days. They've been doing it on like Tuesdays and stuff like that. Like, look at this Tuesday. Not as much as Thursdays, though. You know what I mean? Not as much as Thursdays. Like, look at this Thursday. Clear directional movement. Both sides. It's not like we come up and we pull back. We go up and we pull back. And it kills premium. So I have just been personally, Thursdays, whether it's like 10 o'clock, 10:30, when I get that premium low, I'll buy both sides of the ticket and I'll just see where she's at 3 o'clock, 3:30. Because since January, I've only had 5-6 times where I didn't get clear directional movement. And I didn't have to worry about bouncing all over the place and, just premium getting taken out. And you got, coming into a Friday, they want to get their positions out and they don't want to be swamped on a Friday to just, be getting stuff out here. And, that's all. There's a lot of things that go on. We could say it's anything. We're still coming into an uncertain environment and stuff. This did close around the 20-day after hitting 849 and after his news. Yeah. We were, the one guy brought it up here in the chat too about Dish and Amazon and stuff like that, and like Spotify. It's been crazy. Welcome, Michael, by the way, man. Welcome, glad to have you here. So it's been funny. If you don't notice, like, some of these trends or like these patterns that have been put in, they've been like let me show you real quick. Like, let's look at Microsoft, right? Let's look at Microsoft, MSFT, right? We'll go to like a 4-hour or even a daily. We'll just go to like a 4-hour, So what would you consider, like, if we were not there, what would you consider this? Like a bearish pattern? I'd probably have to pull up the daily, right? There was no bounce attempt off of this area. You had pretty much a double top here. You would expect some bounce, but you just flushed it, turned it into resistance, and continued on. And then you got earnings, right? You turned the double top into resistance, going into earnings, bang. Let me bring you Spotify. And I called Spotify out before it. I'm not saying I'm like, yo, guys, I know what Spotify's doing. I don't know what they're doing. But I'm just starting to see the thesis that we have, these mid-cap, large-cap tech companies, not big-cap tech, that have been on runs, and the multiples may not match up, and it's a reason for them to take profit on this huge run that we've had across the market. And if I bring up like Spotify, right? We go to the weekly chart, it smacked the 200-day moving average. Smacked it, right? And reversed, and then turned it into resistance. Like I'm going to show you what I mean. And then we came into earnings, and it was sold into the earnings. See, it hit the 200, and just you started having their orders already put out here. We got up to it. They were selling all up here, right? If I go to a 15-minute chart, we got our levels. Look at it. They were selling into earnings. And then now that was a nice trade today. I didn't even look at it. Right? We got more. We got Google. Now look at the bullish ones, right? Google did the same thing. Now again, I don't know how long you've been here or not. Pennant, well, that's from earnings. But Google, it's got a bullish setup. You have a stage 1 rally, put in your base, shake out weak hands, bang. Same thing. Oh, Google's weak. It pulls back, shakes weak hands, hangs in there, breaks it, bang. Look, and then going into earnings, And I'm looking at Microsoft. I'm like, well, Microsoft probably, just some of these patterns have been setting up to where it's like somebody knows something or has an idea, So, but thanks for joining us, Michael. Like I say, we trade right here live Monday through Friday, YouTube.com. I was short NVIDIA today. I was short the SPY. What else? What else did I trade today? And I say in the mornings we come up with our targets, where we're short, where we're going to be long. We come up with our ideas. And when I put them on live. I talk you through. I say, guys, I got a position on break here. Like we're coming up into the resistance area. I'm going to watch it, see what we do. Depending on the volume. The volume, what's going on. And then I'll say, because I don't want it may not fit somebody's risk tolerance. I want nobody taking it, but you can see when somebody's trading, like why I would do that, and why would I get short at resistance if I only have $1 to the downside or $2 to the downside. Maybe I'm giving it to $1 to get $4 or $5. Sometimes I'll scalp. I trade mid cap, large cap, small caps. Trade it all. I've been very fortunate. We've put ourselves on the right side of the market. We were on BABA. We were on crypto before the BlackRock stuff. We were on Ford and the Dow before, a lot of people were. We were on financials and oil before a lot of people were. I mean, we had oil. We already had oil measured out before it even broke out. It was putting in this beautiful pennant here, and we were on it. Right here is where we weren't sure, but it regained it, hit it, bang, and it's just been gone ever since. And I had this up here. I think I was just a random I want it up here, but I didn't measure the move or anything, so I wouldn't even worry about that. But it's given us the move. And members will say it in here, free 99. If you guys haven't, it takes a lot of work, takes a lot of time away from my family, takes a lot of time to just do this and to even still do my own research so I can come in and say, hey, this is what I'm looking at. I'm just bringing it to your attention. If you guys want to look at it too. And we were on BABA early, man. We were on BABA so early. I listen, it's not always going to be like this. But I tell you what, off of this double bottom, we were long. I mean, we seen the double bottom coming in, and then the gap and go was like. So, I don't know. I've just been very thankful. We've been on the right side of stuff. Members in chat have been calling out a lot of things too, man. So it's been good. Again, it's free 99. If you could like, share, and subscribe, it's greatly appreciated. If you guys have any tickers or anything you guys want to go over, or something you guys want to look at, we can throw it in the chat. It's pretty late where I'm at. What are we going to look at tomorrow? So like I said, we could look at solar stock stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I really don't. I'll probably just trade the regular needs. Oh, small caps. Well, small caps have been going. I didn't play TUP today because I was watching the SPY and the Qs. So if I get short something, I'd like to be short the Qs. I will short the SPY, and I do. And if I don't have anything to do, I'll be trading the SPY all day long. I'll just pick her off all day long. Just get my base hits and get my check going. Just get myself a check so I can eat and pay bills. We're here to make money. It doesn't have to be pretty. It can get boring. Even as long as you're making money, trade one thing, and if you trade it well, if it's making you money, then you earn the right to take the risk. Go on and maybe see how you do with something else. If you don't do too well, go back and whatever your niche is, TUP. Man, it's this thing's actually put in a really nice, like, look, rallied, put in its base, shook out some weak hands, pulled back, bang, stuck to low. I wonder if, I don't know, is there any news with TUP? I noticed that it's just been trending the past few days. Um, Man, I would watch this level right here, guys, today. If this thing like curls, eh. Still, if we come back and hold this previous high from yesterday, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I'm sure this thing is over because a lot of people have made a lot of money on this thing. I went and actually did draw my targets on this thing today. I never played. Oh, look, and they hit them all too. You know what I mean? This type of stuff will let you know that I've been doing this for a little bit. I never played it though. I went and put out my targets. This also helps me. It shows me that I'm doing something right as well. Why did I put these levels here? Well, this was your gap. This was the gap fill right here. This was your pivot low, and I put it at the open. It kind of matched up with the close, but if I go left, so maybe it didn't even hit this level. But more importantly, right here, there's your base. It hit them pretty much to a T. Your double bottom right here. You have a gap fill right here. There's still a gap right here, which is funny. There's still a little. No, there isn't. Never mind. Yeah, it's like 5 cents. But so I was short AMD or Nvidia today. I was short the SPY. Or short the Qs. I'm sorry. I was short. I don't know. I don't know. It was either the SPY or the Qs. I can't remember which one it was. I thought about playing Baba today too. Baba actually had some. So why the reason I was actually thinking about Chinese stocks today was because I seen an article, and they were with their they're having trouble with between their housing and their economy, where they're going to have to inject a whole stimulus thing again. They're having trouble over there, and I think that's why we got this in Baba the other day, or if just take it. I don't know why. I can tell you right now, as an individual from, not just from the United States, but if I'm an institutional, if I'm an institutional, buyer or seller, whatever. If I'm in the markets, and I'm an institutional, if I'm a fund manager or if I'm a fiduciary, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care what's going on. I could not invest in China at all. All right, they have proven over, and it's nothing against China. It's nothing against them at all. It's you come into these headwinds where, one, you don't know the financials. They won't let the United States come in and check their financials, for sure, to get audited, pretty much, right? Two, they change the laws up like that any given time. You're in a position, you wake up, you got to worry about it being down 15, 20, 30%. All right. How is that investable? It's not. And these things may not go. Now, you know what? It looks like, just from looking at this little bit of price action, it looks like it's trying to put in a higher low. It looks like it's trying to. It wants to get back to this area right here around the 93 area and try and find support to try and curl itself up. But I don't think you get that much money there. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. I just feel like it's tried to curl itself. I just don't. And that's coming from another fiduciary who I've talked to. It's not investable. Just like marijuana, that was a whole thing that the government's, that was an opportunity that could have been seized, and it wasn't. They could have made a good thing out of it. They could have made, lawful and just, done something right with it, and they didn't. They blew that too. But again, whatever. It's, it's not about politics. It's, it's just all of them. It's just, come on, really, at least do something for the companies. It's not like they're, some sick individual, you guys know what I mean. It's not like they're just, it's a terrible industry and they're terrible people, and it's just, it's not gangland, but still, I'm just saying. So China's uninvestable, I feel like. Now they're going to do it privately, I'm sure. They're going to do it privately. I know BlackRock was doing a big thing with 401ks and stuff like that for people that work over in China and stuff, but We'll see what tomorrow brings. Again, small caps have been going off. I might take my attention there to small caps. I'm not sure yet, but AMBP earnings at the close. I'm not sure. I had to do some running, so I haven't really even been able to go over a bunch of them. But I did go over Ford with them. Ford did something. They raised yearly guidance, and then the earnings call took place, and they just took a crap. I don't know if it's just they heard something and it just gave them a reason to take profit off of this run or what. You said AMBP. I have that right? AMBP. AMBP. High metal. Oh, that's funny you bring up metal, Mike, because we were talking Tuesday and Wednesday about U.S. Steel, Cleveland Cliffs, your industrials. They pulled back, I think, today or yesterday. So MVP earnings at the close, which also announced a 10-cent dividend, which pays each. Oh, that's cool. Oh no. Oh shoot, man. Of course, that's how it works, doesn't it? Right. Yeah, and you know what's funny? Carl Icahn's been long also something like these are and this is cool because you're bringing up stuff that a lot of people don't even think about. Companies that make cans for canned food or cat food, dog food, and things like he's bringing up. This thing looks like it's it's weak. Let me go up to a week. I'm sorry, I'm on an hourly. Let's go to a daily chart. This thing is weak, but man, that sucks. I can just tell it's basing. I'm gonna tell you right now, this thing's still basing, bro. This thing just, I could see this thing trying to peek its head back up. I can tell you that right now. That sucks though, man. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I take it's a bad thing because you're saying they're paying 10 cents, paying 10-cent dividend each quarter, or I don't know if that's supposed to be 10 cents on the dollar or 10% or what, but I take it as 10 cents. And again, 10 cents, 10 times 4,000, add it, do the math, guys. Which is, that's awesome. And that's 40 cents. That's damn near 50 cents a year on a dollar. Man, that sucks. You can tell right here that they came in and bought. You can tell that today, and it kind of got, well, and you know what? It also could have been because of the market too. You could tell this thing's kind of put in its low, and it's rearing it. It's trying to rear its head up, put in another low. I would say that is probably going to be the low, and it just curls itself up. Where it goes from there, probably 200-day, and if it can break and hold, maybe it breaks it, pulls it back, and then bounces itself up. But I wish you luck on that. If you guys don't have anything else, like I say, I'm gonna be just watching the markets. I gotta do. We'll see what news we have in the morning. We still have some earnings. I'm telling you guys, don't expect this out of me. I would hope I can continue to do this. We've been calling out these down names for the obvious reasons, and they've been breaking out. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but Boeing finally broke out of that 220, 224 area, gapped up to 224, and then tried to start heading higher, but it didn't. Because what you have here, you have the rally. You have your stage 1 rally, puts in a base, looks like it weaks, tries to shake them out, and then heads higher. But we'll see. We're coming into some headwinds possibly. I think we don't start seeing a lot of that. I mean, we're seeing data contract now, but I think we really, and I've been saying it for a while, and now everybody else is matching up with, Q2 of next year. The only reason I say that is because if you bring up Fed funds rate, you go to Fred.com, you bring up Fed funds rate, and you bring up unemployment, and you put them together. 6 times out of going all the way back to, I guess, the 60s, 40s, and 50s, you had yields rise, you had Fed funds rate rise, and it stops. 2008, it stopped. I think they stopped at 5.25. And from when they stopped, when their last rate hike was, it was literally 12 months to 14 months after they stopped when you got the uptick, when you got the really, like, where it really started to uptick in unemployment. And it wasn't a year until a year after. It wasn't until a year after when they got that final rate hike in, or when they stopped. They held it for 8 months, 8 months. I guess they start to see that increase in unemployment, so they start dropping it, and bang. And we start around March, April. So, we're still doing it. We're about possibly at their last one. So we'll look for next year coming into the spring, possibly. Again, the government has liquidity with the stimulus that they went through. That's going to come out at different times up until 2023. So that will also probably pause and make things not as bad. We'll see. We'll see what happens. There's going to come a time where these houses just stay where they are. And I know in some areas they've went down. But the buyers are going to step away. It's going to come to a point where everybody that can afford an overpriced home at an overpriced interest rate, where they're paying way too much for their home, they're all done. They have their home, and then it's the people that can't afford it, and then they go in and they get it at a high interest rate. They just get a lower home, and then they're able to refinance, live the American dream. There's only so much time that'll go on before, where the buyers just aren't there anymore, in certain areas. You do have a lot of people that are trying to, that are trying to make their few thousand, 10, 15 grand, 20 grand, whatever, or rent it out for Airbnb. That's not. So there's a lot of different factors in there with, like, housing and stuff like that. But we'll see, guys. We'll see what's going to happen. I mean, we've had the spread up damn near 1%, 2s and 10s. 2-10 spread, a percent. It was at 1.1 a couple days ago. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna get off here, guys. If you enjoyed it, if you guys gained some type of knowledge, just keep an eye on Thursdays and see how they do from here on out. Just keep Thursday in mind. Again, you get a lot of positioning. I think if you don't get it earlier in the week, watch for Thursday, because you'll come into a Friday where you're coming into a weekend. And it's like they just throw the papers in the air on Friday and just kick back, and so keep an eye out. It doesn't happen every Thursday. I think, from what I have been doing, it's been like 5-6 times where I really haven't gotten follow through, whether it's because of data, Fed meeting, or something going on. And it just didn't happen this, and that's okay. It's a probability game, because I know if I have it like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I'm buying small size. I'm not at my usual position size when I'm in a trade. I dwindle it down to a quarter of a size, and I'll buy both ways, or three, like an eighth of it, and I got it on both ways because I'm not sure of the direction. But if it does happen, I want to be in. I'm going to cut the loser. I'm going to get that momentum, and it's just the days that we've been getting this momentum where there's no pullbacks, and then it goes higher, and the premium's sucked out of it because of that pullback. You just went from green, now you're red. Like, you were up 12, 13, 20%, whatever your date was. I'm just throwing out numbers. You're buying $1, $2, $3 out the money, whatever, and it pulls back, and then you're just red, and then it goes up, and you're still red. You just barely make any money, and then it pulls back, and you're just red the whole day. These Thursdays have not offered days like that. And that's where it makes hard for people that are new, that really don't know options. They think they do, but, you'll get to a point if you're new. Like, as an example I used the other night, I was trading Coinbase short. For some reason, this thing went in, and I would also recommend take time to practice entries. Start getting, when you start getting and you get your pullback to VWAP and your 9 EMAs there, and you got low a day, just put your order there. Don't think about it. All right? It breaks it. Something's changed. It breaks up above it, and it's closing above. Okay, stop out. You stopped out 50 cents, 75, $1, whatever, to potentially have a $3 downside, $4 downside. So I got into Coinbase short, and I got in, and this thing just fell out of bed. And I'm like, shit. And I literally just got short the bottom. And then it just rips back up, and I'm like, all right. So as it goes back up and curls back down and around, I'm like, even if I get back to where I'm at and I get past it, I'm going to be up a few fucking dollars on these excuse my language. I'm only going to be up a couple dollars on these contracts if I'm green. Right? If I'm green. So then I get back down there and I get green and I'm like, I'm out. I just, no law. It was a losing trade, but I was still green and maybe I paid some commissions. You know, when you're able to get to that point of trading in options and really knowing them, you know, that kind of stuff will take time. Just knowing where you're how the day is trading and what's going on and how they're reacting, knowing which ones to be in and not be in, which ones are which ones are going to pay you, which ones are the most liquid. Like, you know, that stuff just comes with times, guys. I mean, we can always have a lesson on that at lunch. We can talk about all that stuff. But so far the downtrend, the trend is still up. I mean, we've been waiting for a pullback. You know, this is obviously not to the day. Don't get that wrong, but I want to see what we do tomorrow. See if we get another pullback off of 454. We'll look for a bounce back to like 450, the 453.50, 454. You know, maybe we trade sideways. Maybe we just sit here, you know, in the spot. Maybe we just sit here. We don't do that. It's hard to say, but we have PCE. It's just crazy that the market can just keep doing this. We've just had data fed earnings, like it's been crazy. It's usually not like this in the summertime, and I know Mike Anthony can attest for it. You know, a lot of these guys can attest for it that are here tonight. Guys, thank you guys so much. I'll be live again in the morning. Start the day off 7:30, probably 7 o'clock. It's really late where I'm at, so it's not too bad. It's 11 o'clock, 11:15. We'll do some research in the morning. We'll see what news we wake up to. Get our levels, figure out, you know, what do we think about the news? Is this good? Is it bad? You know, is it enough news that it's going to separate itself from the trend of the market? You know, if the market pulls back or goes higher, you know, and it's going to just, you know, it's going to stick to the news and stick to that direction. We have earnings, like there's all kinds of opportunity. You just got to know where to find them. And, you know, this is what we're doing here. Could drop through 28 and bounce from there. Yeah, it could. I'll look into that tomorrow too, man. I like that. I like we say AS, ATS. Do you trade small caps too, man? I take it you do, because I do too. I haven't traded them. They've just started breaking out the past 2 days. I think it's so funny how it works, and people may not know this, but and I'm sure you do. You know, I've been waiting for small caps. I've been waiting for something. I thought we might get it when we had Carvana. And I don't even know what Carvana is still doing. I know it was up a little bit today, but they've sold this thing off. I know there was a lot of puts being bought for November on this. But think about that, guys. It's already went from 56 to 41. That's $16 on a $50 stock. Do the math on percentage on that one, but it usually will take something. Okay, that's a TV. Sorry, I'm by myself. I'm like, what the fuck? Is that somebody outside? What's going on? So, guys, I'm scared. No, I'm just kidding. Usually it'll take something to get like small caps going, and I guess TUP's been the one. And you'll start to notice TUP starting to go, shorts covering. What happens? More, you'll just start seeing it. DWAC, HKD, all these random names. They'll just go. And we were talking about top a couple days ago. We've been talking about top back here, but now the trend does look to be down. It looked like it had a chance here where it was like, if I were to bring it up smaller, it looked like, because when we were looking at it like here, where it looked like it wanted to like kind of like curl itself up, but this level here is just too much for it. It's just too much. You can't do it. It ain't there. Nobody's talking about it. We thought we could get a little bit of a curl going up, but whatever. I could probably actually take these levels down. So, guys, if you haven't, subscribe, greatly appreciate it. I will see you guys in the morning, 7:30 sharp. We'll go over the news. We're going to go over levels, stocks we have on watch, mid cap, large cap, all of them. Okay? Appreciate you guys joining. And again, if you guys have any other questions, you can comment in chat, and I'll get back to you in the morning. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 7:30, 7:15, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You guys have a great night. I appreciate it. We're here to feed each other. We're here to make some money, right? I don't mind at all. We called. If it wasn't for the chat, we wouldn't have shorted Tesla 2 days ago or a day ago, whatever. It was either, I think it was yesterday. We shorted Tesla, and it was funny because we all were like, yeah, we're now, and we got in, and then we just got our follow through, boom, 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 and it was like a $3 move. It wasn't nothing crazy, but we just got so much follow through that we didn't need anymore because it had paid so much on that follow through. That's the other thing you got to understand about options is like knowing when you get that follow through. Is it already like max pay at that point and it pulls back and it kind of just slowly grinds higher or lower and it doesn't really pay you anymore? You'll learn all that stuff as you go with time. You'll and nothing about trading is perfect. We have a number. Our job is to make that number bigger by the end of the day. That's our job. We got a number. Our job is to make that number bigger. All right, guys. You guys have a great night. I'll see you guys early in the morning. Let's get our sleep. It's going to be Friday, so we'll see what we bring. We've had a lot of volatility this week. We still have PCE numbers tomorrow, Michigan sentiment, things of that nature. So thank you guys for joining. Like, share, and subscribe if you found any of this valuable. And if you do have any questions and you're new or you're struggling, talk about it. Talk about it. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. We're here to work together. We're here to eat, man. Thanks, Bronco. I appreciate it, man. I hope you guys have a good night. And again, if you guys don't know, we trade live right here. We as in me, us, 7:30 in the morning, right here on YouTube, guys. So we'll go over the plans tomorrow, what we're all thinking, not just me, all of us. You guys have a great night, guys. I'll see you all in the morning, guys. Take care.